Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man, at your service. How are you all? Hope you're doing very, very well. It's a very, very, very bright day. I mean, what, we're approaching the middle of September now. Summertime's officially supposed to be over. We're entering the autumn, Halloween time of year. And it's roasting hot. In fact, the last few days, the weather's just been amazing. And that could be partly responsible for the huge invasion of spiders. Yes, regular viewers will know I've had my dealings and dabblings in the world of arachnids, and this year has been absolutely spectacular for spiders. Who likes spiders amongst you? None of you. Yeah, I know. Me neither. No, I love them. I think they're fascinating creatures. They're, in many ways, beautiful to look at. Did I just say a spider's beautiful? Some of them are. But they're incredible engineers. Their web construction, their design is just, human beings will never be able to emulate that amount of inventiveness and constructive, skill. We never will. But why are there so many? What's going on? This ain't no conspiracy theory, folks. None of that. I've just noticed. I know, the thing is, at this time of year, spiders are on their way back in. During the spring, you see them because they're moving out of the house and they're going outdoors for the warmer season. And then as the season changes, they come back in again. But of course, the seasons are so mucked up, especially in the UK. You can get all seasons in one day. I mean, that's not a surprise, really. But, that's just the way things are in this country. Crazy, I tell you. But, so, if nature is kind of like, well, if the bloody weather systems, I can't control them, I don't know what I'm doing, if that doesn't make any sense, so spiders and other creatures are just having a free-for-all. They're just, well, they're going to be here constantly, get used to it. We've got 8 legs, and we've got big teeth, and eight bloody eyes as well. And we're tiny, but we put the fear of God into you. And they do, don't they? Why is that? Why are we so genuinely afraid of things like that? Shelob and things. People always say, oh, maybe it's like a race memory that in primitive times, prehistoric times, they were actually much, much bigger. Well, we know that can't really be the case because then it wouldn't be a spider. Spiders have exoskeletons, which are great support systems for their body with all their internal muscles and organs. It gives them a protective shell. But as they grow, they have to shed that exoskeleton and then form another one. So they're very vulnerable then. And that's pretty much all spiders are like that. Even your little itty bitty, teensy weensy little thing. Your money spider, as they call it. The cute ones. You go, oh, it's just a little money spider. Yeah. Imagine if you were the size of a money spider and that came at you. Not so cute then, is it? But yeah, so scientists always say that a huge giant spider like that couldn't possibly exist because gravity, it couldn't support its own weight. And I tend to believe that. But if you look at I would say fossils, but can you really call them fossils? Because they don't really have a bone structure apart from this exoskeleton. But they've been found in amber. I think it's in Argentina. They found what an entire spider was found, and they've called it a mega arachnid. Now you already know where I'm going with this. Mega arachnid. Meg, Greek, huge or great. Arachnid, spider, again Greek, and this beast was 21 inches long. That's its body, folks. 21 inches long. That's it. But, well, I mean, can you gauge that for me? I'm going like that's how big its body is. That's not including the legs, obviously. It's going to have all them bloody legs as well, and their eyes and them big fucking mandible things. Christ, that's big enough. I mean, you've got the bird-eating spiders of South America and all that sort of stuff, and the big tarantulas and the jumping spiders. I mean, they're scary enough as they are. Christ, of course they're scary. But the thing is, the myth of the giant spider can't possibly exist. Well, but maybe something else did that looked like a spider. Because they've also found these other spiders, which are kind of euryptids, I think they are. And these things have got tails on them. Spiders don't have tails, do they? I'm looking around at the huge variety that we've got, which are actually all the way around me now. I couldn't even begin to count the amount of spiders that are in this conservatory now. And it is truly unnerving, except for the fact that I kind of got used to them being here now. And I'll come on to that sort of thing, how you kind of get over your phobias, well, if you ever can. But so they found these other spiders, which is more like sort of spider crabs. They kind of lived in fresh water, not salt water, but fresh water. And they like sort of around the riverbed, they'd be like they're sweep feeders. But they're big, but they have these long bloody tails as well. So they're like an offshoot. You can't really call them spiders, but to all intents and purposes, I've seen pictures of what these things look like and the remains that were found, and you know, they look like spiders with tails. Now, if you see that coming at you, it's like a cross between a spider and a scorpion. Holy shit, you know, you got no chance with these guys. But yeah, spiders, why are we genuinely afraid of them? Such great fodder for movies and stories, of course. Like, I mean, the movies. I've just been playing bits of James Horner's score for Crawly, which has that great crystal spider, of course, which kills Francesca Annis, the widow of the web. You've got Shelob, you've got this thing from Doctor Who, Lady Arrakis, or whatever her name was called, I can't remember. But you've got likes of, oh god, Earth versus the Spider, Tarantula, the Incredible Shrinking Man, where of course he shrinks, but because he's shrunk, that spider in the cellar becomes this huge monster compared to him. Now, you know, some cellar-dwelling spiders are bloody big anyway, but that's a classic movie, that. But you've got the things like Arachnaphobia, which only has, I think, one release on Blu-ray in the entire world, and that's not round here. And great film, and they're not big spiders in that. Eight-legged freaks, giant things. That's let down by the fact it's got a big Scooby-Doo style ending where no one's really died. They're all kept in cocoons down in the cave so we can go and rescue them all. Yeah, it kind of ruins the whole thing there, doesn't it? But the scene of the kids on the dirt bikes going over the sand dunes and these fucking hopping spiders and running, well, jumping after them. Bloody hell. You know, that is quite terrifying, that. And of course, they're in every kind of movie, every horror show will have these things. There is a film which I remember as a kid, a Dan Curtis production. Remember Dan Curtis, who created Kolchak the Night Stalker and the Night Strangler and the entire TV show, Dark Shadows. He did a version of Dracula with Jack Palance playing Dracula. He did Burnt Offerings. He did many great movies, a lot of TV movies, but he was really good at his stuff. And his Scream of the Wolf as well, which again was a werewolf movie, but it turns out it's not really a werewolf. Again, another Scooby-Doo ending. But it is good though, it's a good film. He did one called Curse of the Black Widow. And I don't mean Natasha Romanoff, you know, Avengers, but this was a TV movie again, and a spate of killings are taking place in LA, and you see the killings from the spider's point of view. And basically it's a woman who's cursed to turn into a Black Widow, a huge Black Widow. And if that isn't ghastly enough, and even with the constraints of a TV movie, you know, you would see people like in the zoo, and a nighttime attack, this guy turns around and you see what the spider's seeing, and it's 8 visions of him, like, and he's going, ah! And as he runs off, it corners him by the lion's cage, and the lions are going ballistic. And the victims are always found with 2 huge puncture wounds in their chest, you know, where this mandibles, but they've got teeth, don't forget, gone into him. And then this detective has to work out what this family curse is. But there's a great sequence as well in the house. It's like a house set on the coast, like an old Victorian Gothic mansion, and it's in there, it lives in the catacombs beneath it. It is a woman, but it does transform into this thing, and it goes after this guy, and it comes crashing through a wall behind him, like it's like great big bulbous, you know, body like that. The thing is, you can't get that movie. There are VHS tapes of it somewhere, but you can't, there's no proper release. Most of Dan Curtis' stuff has come out. All these movies, all the Kolchak TV show, it's all out, all readily available. But you cannot get this. And I don't understand why. It was a great film. Again, I haven't seen it since I was probably about, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, that sort of age. And I remember, I saw it twice. The TV showed it twice in very quick succession. It must have been like, maybe the Beeb was on strike or something, and they just put up anything, just put that tape back on again, you know. They watched it last night, doesn't matter. Got nothing else to put on. So it come on twice in quick succession, and I loved it. It cemented its atmosphere in my mind. But yeah, spiders. You're okay with them if they're in the top corner, aren't you? And like you kind of up the living room or the bathroom or the bedroom. It's there, top corner. Like, oh, what? All right, I know you're there. I'm aware of you. So you do your business and you keep looking up, making sure it doesn't move. Doesn't move for days, or doesn't appear to move for days. So you kind of get used to it. And you kind of oh, you're all right. I'm gonna call you Fred. And Fred's great for a couple of weeks until Fred comes down from there, and then you've got to kill him. Oh, and I don't want to kill a spider. I know that they're nature's gardeners, they're nature's engineers, and we kind of need them. Like bees, we need them. Otherwise, we'd be festooned with flies, all the time. So they're fulfilling a purpose. So you come to terms with this spider, and he's okay until he makes that move, and then you've got to deal with it on a whole different level. Then is it a 1 length of kitchen roll, the 2 length, the 3 length? Depends how big it is, I mean, I'm not one of these people who can like put a glass on top of it and then slide something underneath and then let him loose. I wish I could, but I can't, because you can't run the risk of that getting out from underneath that glass and running up your arm. Oh God, heart attack time. Spiders also apparently know you're afraid. Like most animals, most predators or any animal can sense fear in something else. Well, scientists have done work on this, and apparently spiders can see and they can hear, but their sight in a lot of spiders isn't very good. Most of them tend to use sound and vibration, and that's how they track their prey. Almost like Daredevil, because he's blind, but he can map sound like sonar and radar, and he can build a picture, of his environment and surroundings. They're like that. But a lot of them can see, and a lot of them can see very, very well. A lot of them, in particular at nighttime or dusk, twilight, their eyes are adapted to detect spectacularly well during that kind of lighting. And they've got the 8 eyes, but they're arranged in rows, and those ones have great big, massive, massive eyes. They're the ones that, if you Google images of spiders, watch yourself, because you're going to be confronted by a close-up of one of these faces with these big fucking eyes and the teeth like that, and that's it, you've launched your phone. Oh, get out. But that's what they're like. And another little trick that they have, the ones who have built their webs around, like in the trees and the branches and that, like, and in bushes, is it leaf matter or whatever on the deck. They'll basically shit and leave little pinpricks of shit on the leaves and the ground below, and they're aiming points. So when prey goes across it, they gauge that, right? Something's just broke. Literally, like we have an infrared beam sort of thing, and you break that beam, the alarm goes off. Something breaks that light that it can see, and it's focused on the little bits of fecal matter. It's going to pounce. Oh, it's skillful stuff. It's stealthy special forces. That's what they're like. This, by the way, I think that is the Incredible Shrinking Man soundtrack there. And then we're going to go into Tarantula, the original Tarantula, with John Agar fighting a bloody big, huge tarantula in the Arizona desert. And who kills it? It's Clint Eastwood, who's flying the jet plane, which napalms it at the end. It's Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Although he's got a big helmet on, and a big oxygen mask and all that stuff. But it is him doing it. But yeah, so they're really incredibly stealthy. I remember we went to an exhibition, an entomological a big show of spiders basically, and it was packed out. I had them all in these vivariums and all that, different breeds, and the crowds were all there and milling up. There was snakes and scorpions and special kinds of ants as well. And they'd reach in and they'd pick out the star of the show, the great big hairy tarantula, and they'd get people to hold this tarantula. So of course my kids, both of whom my daughter's absolutely petrified of spiders, but she has held one. My son is a lot better. He can actually pick up a glass, capture it and let it out. He can do that. Me and the wife are like, where's my machine gun? Jesus. And all of a sudden you can sprint like Usain Bolt across rooftops. And but the kids are going to me, Go on, Dad. Go on. You think you're big and hard, ex-Marine. Come on, you can do it. Come on, tough guy. Come on, Kilt-Man. I was like, fucking hell. Am I going to do this for real? All right, okay, go on, let's do it. Put my hand out. Just kidding. Nah, go on, come on. You've started. Let's do it. Hand comes out. Spider comes on. Now, it's weird. It wasn't just, oh, that's not so bad. It was actually, and I'm going to use this word, lovely. Yeah, I kid you not. Because however hairy that body is and those legs are and that exoskeleton is, the way it tapers down his little feet, its hooves, they're little tiny, that's how this guy can climb walls and stuff like. With the little tiny, little spikelets. And so it can hook into the tiniest of crevices. Well, it's walking on your hand on those, and all you feel is this exceptionally delicate, completely feather-light, tiny little sensation. And so long as it moves slowly, you're okay. But the minute it begins to suddenly move properly, well, of course, it did, didn't it? And in front of fucking hundreds of people, I was there holding this thing going, oh my God, look at me, aren't I great, great. Fucking sweat was pouring out of me as well. Adrenal gland was in overdrive. And it suddenly began to move up my wrist. Well, those handlers are really, really, really good. They've got they've literally got a spidey sense, a sixth sense. They know when you're about to go, what? Because he knew in a nanosecond later, I was going to just launch this thing into orbit. Imagine a big, full auditorium full of hundreds of kids and parents, and this fucking spider's coming down, annoyed and afraid, and going to bite anything. And he pounced and caught it. Oh my God. I almost collapsed. Oh God. That's, how irrational is that? If you're that big, whatever, let's go for a normal spider, that big, say, and he's looking up at you. You're literally 100 times bigger than him. And yet, as you said before, if they can sense fear, imagine the empowerment of that. You're that big in the land of giants, and you've inspired fear in everything around you. You'll be walking, on your legs, walking like this, fuck you, oh yeah. When I want to come down to my web, I will. I don't care what you think. Oh, you need more than a shoe to put me down, missus. Oh, fucking hell. Strutting their spidery stuff. Bravo to them, I say. Live and let live. Some of them I wouldn't go near. But why are there so many? Now, if you watch my previous videos, a lot of you will remember that there is a huge motherfucker right up there. He's been there for about, I'd say 3 months, maybe more actually. Now, this conservatory, this plagued, cursed conservatory with the roof panels which come off all the time in storms, he selected this furthest panel. And what he does normally, like on this side, during the day, he swings around and he's on the reverse of the panel, so you can't really see him. I don't believe it. A wasp has just entered the room now. Now, those bastards don't serve any purpose at all. You, get in, just do your job. And I'll feed you some more mice. The wasp is actually flying right next to his web, because he's got a huge, gorgeous web, which, it fills all that side of the conservatory, all that corner, that quadrant, which is totally his. You can hear that wasp going. Folks, I didn't set that up, honestly, I didn't. But I'm hoping he gets stuck right in that web. I'll film that. But and he's right next to it now. Yeah. I'll show you. What I was going to say was, he's been living during the daytime around the other side. So, and he tucks his legs in, and he has that abdomen like that. And that's almost the fucking same size. That's how scary this bastard is. And but of a night time, he comes down and he sits in the middle of his web, and he looks spectacular. You imagine that, just sitting there in the middle of a web with the moonlight shining through, and we've got lights in here, little sort of dragonfly lights, and he's luminous inside those lights, and he looks beautiful, very incandescent. I don't know what type of spider he is, but basically today he's moved around. He's now on the central panel of that beam. So I'm going to show you, but the thing is, you won't see with his legs all unfurled. He's tucked his body in, and there's only, I think, 2 legs. It's got kind of sticking out like that. I'm going to show you him. Listen to the music. Hope you can see this. It's very, very bright in here. The sun behind me. Can you see that guy up there? Can you see him? On that panel. That little blob there, which you're thinking, oh, come on, Kilt-Man. And well, of course, look at the cocoons. Are they eggs? Are they cocoons? What are they? Is it snacks for him for later on? All down that panel there by the window. Can you see him? You can certainly hear that friggin' wasp, who I hope is going to become a snack as well. Now, someone out there who works in the zoo is going to go, Kilt-Man, get out of the house! Get out of the house! Call the army! Call Clint Eastwood! I think he's beautiful. I do. I am terrified of him. If he suddenly dropped out of there and ran towards me, well, I've got nowhere to go. But I will go through that wall or through that window. I guarantee it. In fact, wouldn't it be great if, like, while doing this video, you just suddenly saw one just come down on a web behind me? Now, this is what I'm coming to. Sitting outside in the sun, and we've got lots of trees and a huge, overgrown garden, a shed somewhere in that distant quadrant, I don't know. Bison in the top fields, tenants over yonder in their hovels of wattle and clay. And when you sit there on a sunny day, when the light catches all these webs, it just shows you how many of them are out there. We've got like well, I thought it was a spruce tree. It looks like a Christmas tree. And I just asked Mrs. Kilt-Man, I said, because I'm going to talk about this. What is that tree? That is a spruce. She went, it's not a spruce. We bought that as a house plant back in Kirkdale when I was about 20 years old. I'm 51 now. So when we first moved in together, a little house plant in a little pot, and it travelled over to this house, and we obviously planted it in the garden. And it's a fucking bit, looks like a Christmas tree. It's huge. It's about the only plant we haven't killed. We've destroyed every other plant we ever had. We just completely, they just gave up, lost the will to live. So, spiders. I don't believe that little bastard had to make an appearance. And what he's doing, he's flying around that web. He knows it's there, but it just takes one cocky moment. He's in it, and oh shit! Imagine knowing that. Oh my god, it's like The Fly. Vincent Price is there. Was it Vincent Price in the original one? I think it was, wasn't it? And he's got the body of a fly, but his own human head, and the spider's coming down towards him. And he's going, "Help me!" Is it Vincent Price in that? Do you know what? The classic horror movie buff, and I've forgotten if it's Vincent Price or not. Is he in the sea? Oh, fuck it. Who cares? It is Vincent Price. Help me! Help me! And they pick up a brick. His family recognise him. Pick up a brick. Fucking clobber him with the brick to save him from being devoured by a spider. And spiders do eat. They eat meat. What they do, they will bite in. They'll obviously wrap up their prey, cocoon it, and come back to it, periodically. But they basically, like the fly, they will vomit or puncture it and put their acidic digestive juices into the body, and then it breaks down all the meaty stuff, and they will eat it, drink it, chew it, whatever, and they'll discard a husk of that body, at the end. But they eat meat, yeah, of course they do. So imagine that, like poor Frodo in Shelob, and there's Frodo, the figure, all latticed up in the web, but he has the light of Elendil. May it be a light in the dark when all of the lights go out. And there he is, smothered in web strands. So yeah, spiders, they can hear you, they can see you, they can jump, and because of their exoskeletons, they're actually a hell of a lot stronger than they should be. That gives them boosted strength. They make great movie monsters too, of course. You you're taking a gamble when you make a film about a spider, a giant spider, because a lot of your audience who might, I love being frightened by horror movies, I love it, they're great, I love that escapism, and then at the end of it I feel great because I've survived, and it's catharsis. But a giant spider movie, or any kind of spider movie, you're you run the risk of a lot of audience people who love that genre, horror genre, but they're not going to come and see your film for the simple reason that, oh, it's all been napalmed at the end. Everything's great. And then, of course, you go home or you get back in the car and there's a fucking spider on the dashboard. That's the kind of fear that doesn't go away. People get over this phobia, don't they, apparently? What do you call it? Implosion therapy or something, where you just... But what they do, they'll get a glass case full of spiders and just throw you in it and lock the lid. Right, stay there. We'll come back tomorrow and you'll be over your fear. Well, they don't do that, or do they? I don't know. I've not signed up for implosion therapy. Can you guys see? The sun is really, really blasting through that window. So I hope this video actually, you can see what's going on. And because it's so bright, you guys can probably see what I can't. And there's actually a web all over me. Because that feeling when you walk through a doorway at night, you go out into the garden at night, and you go, oh, God, you just walk through some poor little bastard's, construction. Now, if he's just spent a day weaving, linking, going, swinging across the chasm between a chair and a wall, if he's done all that kind of stuff, and then you've walked through it and obliterated it, he's not going to be in the best of moods. And don't forget, as I've just said, spiders can basically see. The ones that can't see properly can map the world around them using their system of vibrations and sound. So he's going to know you. Oh yeah, and he might come visiting in the night. That myth about like, oh, and you yawn, you've just eaten about 10 spiders. You're meant to eat about a gazillion spiders throughout your lifetime when you've been snoring. Bullshit. Same as that myth about like, I've come back from Venezuela. Got a little spot out of my face here. Like the film The Believers, the Michael Sheen voodoo thriller. And she's got the bite. Is it on her arm or anything? I can't remember now. It's on her cheek, isn't it? And she's scratching away at it. And then next thing, all baby spiders come tumbling out of it. Like, that's a myth. I hope. I've got that lump on my elbow, haven't I? Spiders. You gotta love them. And everyone's got a spider story. I wrote a spider story, actually, in my first anthology book, Twisted Tales Volume 1. I wrote a story called Besieged, about a young couple. And this was like pretty much like me and Mrs. Kilt-Man when we first moved in. We did get besieged by spiders, and that, of course, gave me the idea. And I might not say too much about this, because we've got Halloween coming up next month. So what I might do is sit in our library and read you, in the rocking chair, and just read you some of Kilt-Man's horror fiction. But this was a story called Besieged, and this couple did become under attack by spiders, and it's how they fought back and what happened in the end. So folks, let me know your spidery stories. Have you got arachnophobia? And I don't mean the movie itself, I mean, have you got the phobia? And if so, how do you deal with it? It is weird when I've been out in the field and you do encounter bugs and critters and stuff, but you're a bit more focused, so all of a sudden that spider crawling across you and you're trying to keep your line of observation, and you've got to keep quiet. It's all of a sudden, isn't that weird? Well, it's still life and death, but that spider becomes massively insignificant. But most of us aren't going through that kind of scenario. We're just sitting having a cup of tea or a little glass of whiskey on a lovely sunny Sunday morning, and then one suddenly runs across the table. Fuck, Jesus. The power these little things have. But be kind to them. Be kind to them. I have killed them. I will kill them again. If it comes down to, hand-to-hand combat with that guy up there, I'm afraid this could be my last video, because I don't fancy my chances much. You didn't see him there fully unfurled, and I keep meaning to take pictures and put them on Facebook and Instagram and all that, that fucking stupid medium bullshit, but I should actually film him and show you him in all his glory, and that's when someone's going to go, Kilt-Man, literally, stop filming, get out the house now, run and don't stop. Anyway, spiders, they're awesome, and they're everywhere. They are, mate, they are. They always say, you're never more than a foot away from a rat. I don't know how true that really is. If I climb a tree, I don't know, if I'm in a plane, if I'm in a plane, You're telling me the rat a foot away from me? I'm in the sea? I don't know. But spiders, certainly going on the current population just around here. And this is just the UK, don't forget. You guys, some in Australia and America and everywhere else, bloody hell, you've got black widows, you've got, jumping spiders, wolf spiders, funnel webs. Fuck that shit in a toilet. Oh, how'd you like them apples, Jesus Christ. And even the tiniest spider has still got venom. They can all bite and all inject venom into you. It's just that only some of them have a level of toxicity which will have an effect upon you, which can be fatal, of course, or at least a very unsightly lump, and you feel very, very bad. But most of them, it's minimal. And it's funny how the bigger spiders don't tend to rely on the venom. The smaller ones, the smaller, prettier ones, are the ones to look out for. Yes. Folks, spiders. Can't live with them. Can't live with them. Simple as. Get used to it. I have been, and always shall be, Kilt-Man. Keep it easy. Take it easy. Keep it kilted, keep it Celtic. And I'm going to see you all later. There's a way. There's a trail. But the trees, Ash, they know. Don't you see? They're alive!